Welcome back. I don't know where I left off last time, but there's been a few developments. One of the major ones, which maybe I did or didn't talk about, but the front rotors that I got were the wrong size. I think I did talk about this. I talked about the chassis split and everything like that. Anyway, I finally got the correct rotors, which I had lined up a minute ago, but there we go, if you can tell. They line up close enough. They line up from where I'm standing. Anyway, those are going to go on. So I'm going to put those on. I've got new front calipers to put on. I need to clean up this garage. I've been shipping a bunch of stuff, so there's styrofoam everywhere. Global warming's happening, so it's been really hot today. It was like almost 70 degrees, and it's February 16th or something like that. Should be minus 30 degrees out, but it's super hot. Thanks, Obama. Anyway, so I'm going to put the new rotors on. I'm going to put the new calipers on. Oh, so I also started putting in the new shocks. Let me show those. So the only corner that actually worked all right, you can see from over here, I had some KYBs. These ones, or this corner was the only one that went in as it should. The old one came out no problem. For the rears, however, as you can see, this shock is still in there. So there's a couple of nuts up on the top, and then there's 2 bolts on the bottom underneath. I'm going to walk around the other side and show. So if you can kind of see down in here, there's a clip. I think it's a clip that slides on to the control arms, and that's where the bolt goes through. There we go. Now it's nice and focused. Well, on both of the rear shocks, one of the bolt snapped off, so now I have to drill out that bolt. There's the one of the old shocks. As you can see, there's 2 bolts that go through. They thread into those clips, and then one of them snapped off. So, like everything else on this car, it's just a little bit harder than it needs to be. But on this corner, this one's actually pretty much almost done. I've got the caliper on, I got pads, I got the rotor. The only thing I need to do is I have the new hard line that I had to replace from the rusty one that broke. That I have to bend in place the way it's supposed to be. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to focus on fronts, maybe trying to get the other front shock out. The other front driver's side shock, the nut that holds it up on the top of the shock won't come off, and it's just spinning the whole shock, which is a common thing, but even with the impact it's not coming off, so I might just cut it or whatever. It doesn't matter if I can't get it to hold still. But yeah, slowly working my way to get some progress. I got new ATE brake fluid to put in the whole system. Hopefully that goes all right. Cool. The saga of everything on this car is just a little bit more complicated than it needs to be, or a little bit harder than it needs to be. So this is a new one for me. Let me see if I can make some room here. So driver's side, we're good on. I got the caliper on, got the new rotor, got the pads in, new hoses on. Everything's good. I'm missing a caliper bolt, but that's fine. I can just run with one caliper bolt. Just kidding. I'll find it or buy a new one. Doesn't matter. That side's good. Other side's on. So I put the rotor on, put the bearing in, put everything in, and I cannot get the caliper on. Like, I was thinking that the bearing was out of place or the rotor wasn't going all the way back, and I tried it several times over and over again. I was like, something is just not right. I was like, I've never heard of a bent caliper before, but I looked at it, and it's hard to tell, but I think it's slightly bent. So I brought it around this side, because this side all works and fits. And I tried it on there, and I have the exact same problem. So I'll try to show. It's going to be hard to demonstrate, especially since I have no room. Maybe I'll bring it over on this table. I think maybe you can see it. So where the rotor sits in here is bent from the caliper mounting surface. So the caliper, these two mounting holes, I have to prop it up on myself. It's bent inward, like the whole caliper has been compressed somehow. And so when you try to put it on the rotor, you can get it like started on the spindle, but it wants to push it outwards because it's all bent inwards. So you can kind of see it does look something might be off, and it is. And I think maybe even one of them is worse than the other. Because it seemed like when I was putting it on, the bottom one was having more trouble than the top one, which sits like that on there. So that one was having more trouble. I don't know. But something's not right on this caliper. So now I gotta send it back, wait for another one, get a return. I just mailed the cores back this morning, so I don't have the box that it came in, so I hope that they'll still return it for me. I don't know. I hope they don't. It's just like everything else on this car is just a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. Which then when you add it all up, everything's a lot more difficult than what it should be. It should be I got a brand new caliper, bolts right on. But instead I got a defective reman. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like the car, please hit the subscribe button for more updates. You can also check out my junkyard find videos for more interesting cars. Thanks for watching.